She'd be buried in a Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore, make her grave straight.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense. Here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act hath three branches. To act, to do, and to perform. She drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good Mandelver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here lies the man. Good. If the man goes to this water and drowns himself, it is. Willy-nilly, he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. He that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Hey, Mary, is it? Kronos quest law.
Will you have truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried outside of Christian burial.
Well, there thou sayest. I'll put another question to thee. Who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well in good faith. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Tell it again.
Who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Tell me that and unyoke.
Marry, I will tell.
To it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Nah! Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace of beating. When you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee in, and fetch me a soup of liquor. In youth when I did love, methought it was very sweet.
Hath this fellow no feeling of his business? He sings at grave making.
Custom hath made in him a property of easiness.
'Tis even so. The hand of little employment hath the daintier sense.
But age with his stealing steps has kept me in his clutch.
That skull had a tongue and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. This might be the pate of a politician, which this ass now overreaches. One that would circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
Or of a courtier, which would say, "Good morrow, my lord. How are you today, my sweet lord?" Here's fine revolution, and we had the trick to see it. Did these bones cost no more the breeding, but to play at loggets with them? Mine ain't to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade, four and a shrouding sheet.
There is another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddities, his quillities, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks? Why does he suffer this mad knave now to knock him about with a dirty shovel, and will not tell him of his action of battery? This fellow might be, in his time, a great buyer of land. With his statutes, his reconnaissances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines, and the recovery of his recovery, to have his fine pate full of fine dirt.
Not a jot more, my lord.
Is not parchment made of sheepskins?
Aye, my lord, and of calfskins too.
They are calves and sheep which seek out assurance in that. I will speak to this fellow.
Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, so got your guest this sweet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I lie not in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it, and to say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore, thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir.
What man do you dig this for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but is no more. Rest her soul, she is dead.
How absolute the knave is! We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been gravemaker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it on the day our last king, Hamlet, overcame Fortinbras.
And how long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. That was the day, the very day, that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, Mary. Why was he sent into England?
Why? Because he is mad. He shall recover his wits there. Or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Even with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark, I've been sexton here, man and boy, for 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky courses nowadays, that will scarce hold the laying in. It'll last you 8 or 9 years. A tanner will last you 9.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he keep water out a great while. And water is a sore decayer of your horse undead body. Here's a skull now hath lying you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A horse son dead body. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was York's skull, the king's jester.
This.
Even that.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath bore me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed. I know not how oft. Where be your jives now? Your gambols? Your songs? Your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning. White chap fallen. Get thee to my lady's chamber. Let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Do you think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
Even so.
And smelt so?
He Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return? May not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
No, faith not a jot. To follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead him, as thus. Alexander died, Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is the earth, and of earth we make loam. Why may not that loam, whereto he was converted, stop a beer barrel? But soft a while. Here comes the king, the queen, and courtiers. Who is this they follow? And with such maimed rites, this doth betoken the course they follow did with desperate hand fordo its own life.
What ceremony else? What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark!
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command overweighs the order. She should in ground unsanctified been lodged the last trumpet.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead, to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may vow its spring. I shall tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel my sister shall be, when thou liest, hallowed.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweet to the sweets, farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, and not strewn in the grave.
Oh, treble woe, fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I hold you in my arms once again! Now pile your dust upon the quickened dead, to of this flat mountain you have made, to o'er the top old Pelion, or the skyish head of new Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder, wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet, the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I prithee, make thy fingers to my throat. For though I am not splintative and not rash, yet have I in me something dangerous.
Pluck them asunder! Gentlemen! Gentlemen!
I will fight him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers with all their quantity of love could not match my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he's mad! Laertes!
For love of God, forbear him!
Swoons! Show me what thou do. Who weep, who fight, who fast, who tear thyself, who drink up easel, eat a crocodile!
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him.
Hear you this? Why dost thou use me thus? I loved you ever! But it is no matter. Hercules himself must do what he may. The cat will mew, but the dog will have his day.
Noble Laertes,
My king.
strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet, thereby shall we see. Till then in patience our proceeding be.
Get away from me!
His hide is so tanned with this trade that he keep out water a great while. And water is a sore. Fuck!